Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be showing you what it's really like to be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So what I'm going to be doing is starting from one corner of the map and then slowly making my way to the other corner through the city and then ending up at the graveyard. The catch is though is I can't use fast travel to get to my destination and I can't use my webs to swing from building to building. It all has to be done on these bad boys. Start destination is the beach. So the first thing I noticed when I was on the beach is that everyone's just enjoying their day, eating food, drinking their drinks. But the first thing I noticed is a bunch of people hovering, waiting for their food. I'm not too sure what workout they're doing at the gym to achieve this upper body strength, but I need to take notes. This can't be comfortable. I noticed a couple of people playing frisbee with a Captain America shield, which I thought was pretty cool. Also, call me a liar, but I think these are Sandman people because no one can move that well in sand. A little side game you can play is looking out for these build ball people. They're basically people who throw pizza signs in the air, and what I noticed throughout my gameplay is there are quite a few of them. So throughout the video keep an eye out for them. Make yourself a little tally and then at the end compare your answer to my answer and see how close you got. Just a little side note, I might have a little bit of tunnel vision. So when I was making my way through the city I might be seeing stuff like this. So if I do miss a couple of people, I'm sorry, you can just correct me in the comments. Just for reference, this is what one of the billboard people look like. I don't think they're always necessarily throwing a pizza sign in the air, but they will be throwing something. And just a little note, this will count as one of the billboard people, so keep a tally and let's move on. As you make your way through the city, you can interact with different people on the street. You can do different emotes with them, like this one, it's just a simple hand slap, then they carry on with their day. Other people will want to take a photo of you because you are obviously the amazing Spider-Man. But throughout your journey there are a whole load of emotes you can perform with different people, so give them a go if you're ever walking around the city. Around the city you will notice police cars and police people patrolling a area. They will be detaining a few people. Also you can't interact with these people, but they should be thankful because if this was a crime scene and you had to go over to sort it out, they would have got their backsides whooped. Nice to see Marvel include a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Easter egg. One thing I do like about the new Spider-Man is that it looks really nice. Comparing it to the PS4 version and the Miles Morales version on the PS4 as well, you can see a real difference with the PS5 in terms of graphics and performance. Another thing I look out for in a game is the photo mode and if it has one, because photo mode really helps with my thumbnails because I do a lot of boss videos on my YouTube channel and how well the photo mode performs. One of my favourite photo modes in a game is probably Ghost of Tsushima because you can zoom out quite well in that and there's a lot of filters, and also there is an option to I think change the weather and change the scenery, so you can have like leaves falling down or rain, or you can have it sunny, and it's just really cool. As you progress through the story you unlock different side missions, one of them being people taking pictures of the Manhattan Bridge, which is pretty cool to look at. I was walking down this path and I noticed this big statue, and it turns out to be a bulldog. Now I didn't know who this was, so I gave it a quick Google and it turns out it was a character called a Lockjaw. According to Google, apparently he is a very good boy who appeared in the Fantastic Four 45 comic in 1965 and has the ability to teleport. Also, if I'm not mistaken, the little fork on its forehead reminds me of Black Bolt from the Doctor Strange film, so maybe that's a resemblance as well. There's a few things I noticed when I made my way onto the bridge. Firstly, there was this guy just hovering in the air and then just slowly descending back onto the ground. You get yourself a few daredevils that are trying to make their way onto the other side of the bridge. You get yourself a few people trying to impale themselves on the other side of the pathway. I noticed one guy tried to blend himself into his surroundings like a chameleon. If there's a person in the DC or Marvel universe who can do that, let me know. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if the person was called Chameleon. Then making my way to the end of the bridge, there's another guy floating in the air. I kind of just stared at him for a little and then just carried on with my day, to be honest. Have you ever been at work and you're trying to look productive but you're not actually doing anything useful? Well. Another thing I did notice is there is a lot of homeless people on the street, which is a bit upsetting comparing it to day-to-day life in the real world, and I wish there was a way you could do something about it in the game, like give them some money or give them some food or do something like that, but sadly you can't. Continuing through the city, I did notice a big building. Now if you've seen the Doctor Strange films and one of the Spider-Mans, I think, it's just the one, you will notice Doctor Strange's sanctum. Now sadly you can't go into the sanctum, which is a bit of a shame, but if you do swing up to the top you can take a closer look at the glass, and it is pretty cool to look at.
Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious.
Along the way you do notice some superheroes or supervillains. You can't judge a book these days. This guy was coming up a set of stairs through some concrete unharmed. I couldn't do it myself, so that was pretty cool. Speaking of books, I did come across this cute little bookstore. I was going to go past it and then I remembered I had photo mode. So I went into photo mode and had a little bit of a closer look at what the different books were. Now I'm not too sure if any of these are real. There were a few copies of different ones. Some of them were duplicates, but going through there was some cool looking books. I was looking out for Marvel or DC Easter eggs in these books just to see if there was anything. If I did miss anything, let me know, but I just saw stuff like Math Lies, Not As Easy As Pie, stuff like that. You had books like Maya Civilization, Modern Architecture, stuff like that. How to Start Sport Gliding, a poker book, Not a Problem, The Untying. That's pretty funny. Maybe you can consider this a Spider-Man reference because it's titled Flying Spiders, a Myth, and you are Spider-Man.
Like, honey, you're not squeezing these suckers out. I am. But I bring that up.
Also, while I was high-fiving this guy, I did notice to my right a building. It just so happens to be the Wakanda Embassy, which was really nice to see, to pay respects to Chadwick, who played Black Panther in the Marvel films. Continuing through the city, I think I found myself my biggest fan, and basically you interact with this guy and he jumps on you and gives you a massive hug, which is quite wholesome, to be honest. Another thing I noticed was there are a lot of people signalling for taxis or cars in spaces where you shouldn't really be signalling. Like this person's got it right because there's a nice open space, but other people like to stick their hand out in spaces where there's already a car. Like this person here signalling when there's a taxi right next to a person. Now the taxi could be fully booked, I don't know, but it just seems a bit weird. I made my way to this park and I thought it was quite funny because there were some owners who owned prams who weren't sitting on the chairs properly. I noticed my second cameo at the hot dog stand. There was a Han serving people from Fast and Furious.
I thought you wanted to go to Tokyo. We'll get there. Eventually.
Now going back to the prams, I'm not too sure if there is a deal going on, but everyone seems to have the same one. They seem to be wedged in the benches, which I don't think is good for your child, but I'm not a parent, so I don't really have a say. Also, the parents seem to be behind the railing, and they must go to the same gym as the people on the beach, because they have some incredible upper body strength. Further into the park, I did notice this group of freestyling people, so I did stay and watched for a little bit. I did think it was pretty cool, the different moves they did and stuff, and how they've incorporated that into the game. Also, I did stay for a couple of minutes, and I think I did notice that they repeat the same moves. I don't think they expect you to stay there for more than a couple of minutes, to be honest. It's quite hard not to, when it's quite cool to see something like this in the Spider-Man game. But yeah, after that it did get quite repetitive, so I moved on. Also, if I did resemble anyone from this dance party, it would be this person right here. Again, I couldn't help myself but look at all the different views and sceneries that Spider-Man had to offer. There's this side mission in the game, I won't spoil it too much, but you're overlooking a lake on a bench with someone. It's quite a sad side mission, but if you know, you know. Also, I did abuse the photo mode. You can't help me because the views are really amazing Spider-Man, and especially in boss fights as well, because I would die quite a lot to a boss just so I could capture the right moment. Further in the park I saw a man feeding the pigeons. And just as I was leaving I saw this confident looking woman doing some exercises on the side of the path. Further in the distance I noticed a train going over the bridge. I think it was a bridge anyway. I thought it was pretty cool looking at it from this point of view. The first time I tried this I had a mini heart attack because I was not expecting to get shooted straight out of the underground, and even the people were a little bit startled. Another remembrance you will notice in the game is the Stanley statue right next to Mick's Diner. I went into photo mode to have a better look at the plaque, and it said, "Dedicated with love to the man who nourished the hearts, minds and souls of true believers everywhere. Excelsior." Last but not least, as we get to the end of the amazing Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, we enter the graveyard. There are a couple of things you can do at the graveyard. One of them is being the gravestone of Jefferson Davis. Now if you play as Miles Morales you will get a different dialogue and a trophy I believe, but if you play as Peter Parker you get this one.
Hell of a son you raised, Jeff.
And if you head nearby you will notice Ben and May's gravestone.
Parker Luck's back with a vengeance.
Okay, so that's everything in this video to do with your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. If I've missed anything out, such as Easter eggs or anything important to point out, just let me know in the comments below. Also, just before I go, I'm going to announce the amount of billboard spinny people that I noticed in the video. So if you don't want to see this, look away now. But if you do, it's going to appear in 3, 2, 1.
What the hell is even that?